Yu-Gi-Oh! What is up, YouTube? It is Jeremy from Team Bio, and today, guys, we just have a Tenyi Swordsoul deck profile to go over for you guys. I'll keep it up front. I'm going to try to keep this deck profile probably around 2 minutes long for those of you who just want to see me flash the cards out. And then the rest of this video, if you prefer to stay and hear my reasonings behind the cards, I would greatly appreciate it, but not needed. I'll be going over my ratios and why and whatnot, or why I picked this card over this card, and citing examples, basically. Another heads up is you're going to see a lot of my hand shadow, and I'm sorry, I'm working on finding somewhere with better lighting, but for now, you get what you get. So I'm going to try to keep this really quick. I won't go over any too in-depth in this part. Obvious things, though, is 3 Moye, 2 Taya, 3 Long One. That is it for your Sword Souls. I do not play the new one. And then your honorary Sword Soul, Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous. For Tenyis, I still think Tenyis are really amazing. 3 Ashuna, 3 Vishuddha, Shathana, I really like it, and 1 Adhara. 10 Tenyis, 10 is literally in the name. Hand traps, though, we were playing 9. 3 Ash, 3 Bell, and 3 Infinite Impermanence. Rounding out the deck, we got spells, your Searcher, 3 Emergence. We like to draw cards, so Pot of Desires. 2 Vessel. If you stay throughout the video, I will explain why. 2 Dragon Circle, 1 Call by the Grave, and 1 Sword Soul Blackout. Obvious things are obvious. Most of the deck is pretty well built, or most of the deck is pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory, pretty solved. Extra deck, 3 Monk, 1 Shaman, but most of this is just staple stuff by now. 1 Yazi, followed by 2 Baxias, 1 Draco Berserker, 2 Sword Soul Shishao, Grandmaster Shishao, excuse me. I lent my copy of Chao Feng, the Yangzing Synchro, level 9, to one of my buddies, so you get a face down legendary 6 Samurai Shien card. I'll be honest, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Sinister Savored Quenglong, I believe is how you pronounce it. Someone correct me down in the comments, please. 1 Chengying, I love this card. New addition is Ice Jade, Gamir Agrine, not sure on her name. And then finally, 1 Baron de Fleur. So if this is all you guys wanted, was just a quick breakdown, there it is. It's about 2.5, maybe 3 minutes of a deck profile. If you guys would like to stay throughout the deck profile so I can explain my reasoning behind the cards, I would greatly appreciate it. If not, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Alright, so for those of you who decided to stay for the video, I want to start off by saying thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I hope that I'm able to explain my reasonings and articulate them well enough for you. So I won't go over the obvious stuff like the Sword Soul ratios. This is all just solved deck building at this point. Is what is this, 11 Sword Souls basically. I will explain why I don't play the newest addition to the archetype is the level 8 main deck monster. In all honesty, I can't even remember its name. I just don't think it's good enough right now. The only really strong field spell deck is going to be Kashtira, and although this deck does have a decent matchup against Kashtira, it's not necessary to play the one that pops the field spell and then banishes a card on the field. I just don't think it's good enough in this current format right now. Subject to change, though. The Tenyis, though, I know some people actually aren't running. Let me bring this down in a frame. All 10, or not all 10, but playing 10 copies or maxing out 3/3 on 3. I think the Tenyi engine is just too strong not to play. This starts off your plays if you don't want to get nibbed too hard. This will actually help you play into a nib to bait it out, I guess, because you can get so far into your combo with just the Tenyis, along with the Vessel for the Dragon Cycle. This gets you into your Shishao plays. This gets you into making an actual Chao Feng to prevent getting nibbed later in the turn. And then even going second, it's so versatile. You get to go into Backseat, you get to shuffle but your opponent's cards back. The recursion, even if you have just Chengying on field and a token or a monk, being able to banish them from hand or graveyard procs that Changing, being able to banish. The one that I know people are super back and forth is Shathana specifically. One, this is such a great card to have in your hand for like a surprise. If they have 3 monsters on the field and you have Monk and Blackout, you can Blackout target Monk 2 of their cards. They're like, oh, okay, I still got a monster, and you're like, haha, banish Shathana from hand. Sorry for the shadows. And non-target, destroy that final target on their field. It's really great, and it is a level 4. All of your tokens are level 4 tuners. So I've seen Ogre getting played a lot more in this format right now. So if they Ogre like your Moye or your Taya, and you happen to have Ashina in your hand, you can banish the Ashina to summon this. You do not get the perks, obviously, of synchro summoning with like a Moye or a Taya, but it does still get you into a synchro, like your Shisha or a Baxia Shuffle for 1, but that's still okay. It's just a reliable extender. And I am not a fan of how all these ultra rares look, so I do like playing the rares and the super versions of the OTS. Hand traps. Ash is really good right now. Tier element, it was not that great against. It was very specific when you had to use it against them. The timing just wasn't there. The timing for Ash just was not the best. Ash now, like Branded Fusion, hitting that's really good. Hitting the field spell for Kashtira, that's really good. Or even ashing sometimes like their Fenrir or their Ogre or their, I can't remember the other one's name, Unicorn. That's still really good. Ashing Unicorn stops them from getting the rebirth. Or Kashtira Theosis. Hitting Kashtira Theosis, another really strong card. Bell, this is, again, basically for Branded Despia. Being able to, what I've seen a lot more decks are playing is Branded in white, being able to optionally use the graveyard. You can Bell that even though they aren't guaranteed to use the graveyard. Branded in red, really good thing to hit. If you happen to get hit by a Call by the Grave, that stops that as well. That's your 1 versus your 3 of. It's not as common to see, but Branded Rebirth, it specials from the graveyard, so you can't get hit with that Gimmick Puppet or the Ra's Disciple. And then finally is 3 Imperm. This is just kind of always going to be a good and strong hand trap. Not really much explanation needed for that one. For the spells though, 3 Emergence, this doesn't need explanation. You get to search for any of your pieces. 2 Pod Desires, another thing that does not need explanation. However, 2 Vessel, I know people are gonna maybe moan, groan at this. This is really good. 1, Ash Bait, if you open up a Tenyi, which you play 10 of, that's almost a 10th or a 4th of your deck. And this, it gets you so much advantage setting up your graveyard and adding a card to your hand. That gets into your Chao Feng, your Baxia, your Shishao if you really need to. It just gets you so far with the advantage. And if they Bestial you, what I usually do is I'll send something like Ashina and add Adhara, even if I have an Adhara in hand. So if they do have a Bestial and they banish that Ashina from grave, I can just banish Adhara from my hand and add it right back. It's very good for me personally. Throughout testing, I've really enjoyed it. And 2 Heavenly Dragon Circle. This is just really good for quick removing a guy from the field if you get hit by like Ghost Ogre, or if they try to banish one of your cards face down. They can't banish your tokens, or your tokens, because tokens by game cannot be banished face down. But if they use Arise Heart, detach 3, target like your Moye, chain this, haha, get wrecked idiot, your Arise Heart does not resolve with its effect. No banishing. And then obvious stuff like Call by the Grave and Blackout. Extra deck it's pretty generic. It's monks. None of this is anything too special. This is supposed to be your Chao Feng. Shout out to my buddy Ryan. I'll see you Tuesday and hopefully get it back. Just generic stuff. The only real interesting is this new Ice Jade Synchro. This is targeted towards Kashtira because this can activate its effect if your opponent activates a card, or just even quick effect in general. You can respond to your opponent's card activation. For the rest of this turn, your opponent cannot target cards that you control to banish them, I believe is the wording. And then on resolution of that, they have to banish all copies of that specific card from their hand, field, and graveyard. So if like they go Special Kashtira Fenrir, use this effect to search, you can chain this for the rest of your turn. None of your guys can be targeted for banishing, and then they also have to banish any Fenrir in their hand, field, or graveyard, which usually is just going to be the one Fenrir, but that's usually enough, because then you can't be targeted for banishment. And then one Baron. So what I did test prior, and it was in previous deck profiles, is Small World. I have taken this out more recently with not having to go into time nearly as much, thanks to tier elements getting hit very hard on the Forbidden Unlimited list. I don't have to search for Spooky Dogwood. I don't have to search for random stuff like Contact C. I don't have to search for specific outs to get rid of their field. I don't have to like specifically search for a Vishuda giving up 2 cards for 1. I still love this card. It's one of my favorite spell cards ever created, but it's just not needed as much anymore. And if I believe I counted right, this is a 41 card deck. I'm not exactly sure. But that is my reasoning for my ratios and whatnot. Most of it's just basic stuff, just me explaining why I play them and whatnot. So if you got this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for watching the video. Drop a comment if you found any of this helpful, or if you have any counter arguments or advice that I should play instead. This is a deck that I've been taking to locals every week. Every week I've been getting top 4 consistently. The last locals I got 2nd place with this deck, only losing to opening too many Spooky Dogwoods against a Sprite player. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Drop a like if you would like to. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Recognize when I wreck a mic, leaving all y'all mesmerized. Killing instrumentals, but nobody wanna testify. In his prime, I think someone better check the guy. Always spitting heat, the beat gon' be hard to identify. Stress minds and wreck mics and leave with the best lines. My sex life is great cause I spit like a Tech 9. Stalk competition, beat them with the lead pipe. Sleep on you rappers just like it's my bedtime. You already know that old big bro from the west side. Got you hoes smoking on my flow like a meth pipe. Forever cold, I'll eat your soul like a death site. Headed to the top, shining brighter than a headlight. You better Wreckognize, I'm about to go off. Putting on a show and I ain't even trying to show off. Here's the red dot, the shot, and kill Rudolph. Call me James Bond cause I killed it with a suit on.